Facial Sunscreen Update for 2026. Thanks for joining today. This is Graciously Gloria. So, if you saw my video from last year, I did a facial sunscreen try-on for you. You can check that out if you're interested. But I tried that on and then I put foundation over it to kind of show you what it looks like with or without foundation. I want to give you an update here on the ones that I can continue to use now for 2026 and some new things I added into my repertoire. So, let's jump in. You're getting a close up version of my face here. So I do have on my eyebrow gel and my tubing mascara, but I do have my face clean. And then after I clean my face, I usually put various serums on, but always put on my facial moisturizer. I like this one by CeraVe. It's the PM, so it doesn't have sunscreen in it, but then I put my sunscreen on top. Now you might notice also here my scar that is healing from my squamous cell skin cancer. If that's something you're interested in learning more about skin cancer and things that I've learned, I have several videos on that. I also have my other scar here from my first squamous cell skin cancer, and I got Mohs surgery on both of those. So I do believe sunscreen on your face is super important. I'm going to be honest with you. When I was younger, I was not good about putting on sunscreen on my face. We wanted to be tan like the band of Slay Girl. And in particular, if I put it on my body, and sometimes I put that tanning oil to be honest with you, but if I put it on my body, I barely put it on my face when I was younger. So I think I'm seeing the damage now that's happening to my face because of that. That UV damage is showing up now. But ever since I got that first skin cancer on my face, I have been very diligent about putting sunscreen on my face every day. And I would encourage you to do the same. You really want to be diligent about applying it to your face every day because you can get some UV rays coming through those windows, and particularly put it on your face and your neck on a daily basis. The other thing for midlife, especially, we care about the anti aging and on a youthful looking appearance. So, protecting your face from the sun with that sunscreen on your face is really a great first step in that. And then you apply all the different skincare products. And I will do a separate video on some of my skincare products I use because I do tell people tend to tell me that my face looks good for my age of 54. So I give you more tips there. But I would say my number one recommendation is to putting on that sunscreen because again, helping you with anti-aging and helping reduce your risk of skin cancer. I care about you all and don't want you to have to get skin cancer like I have had. Again, there's other factors that relate more than just to UV damage, but that is one of the biggest factors. So, sunscreen, super important. So, let's just jump in and I'm going to show you my different favorites. Okay. So, people ask me all the time, what do I like? Let's just learn a little premise about my skin as well. My skin tends to be very sensitive. So, I do care a lot about how it's going to feel on my skin, if it's going to blend well and go well with makeup, and is it going to irritate my skin or not? So, my favorite, really the one I grab for the most, is probably this Healthy Skin Labs. Now I'm going to have my readers just because I want to make sure I read you the various information, but it's a tinted moisturizer with hyaluronic acid SPF 50 and it's dermatologist tested, it's safe mineral sunscreen, broad spectrum, cruelty free, reef friendly, and no nanoparticles. Okay, so this one says made in the USA. So I like this. This one is telling you to apply it and wait at least 30 minutes before sun exposure. And it gives you some other ideas of extra things to do to protect yourself from the sun. I think it's a good generous size there, and always make sure you look at the expiration date at the bottom. So if you've had one for a while, keep that in mind and get yourself a fresh one. I will put links below just for your convenience if you're interested in some of these products. But let's jump in and try this on. So, how much sunscreen do you want to put on? So, they say a good rule is a two finger. So, if you took these two fingers and applied it on here and you went and you applied it, then that's going to be about a quarter teaspoon. I tend to do it, and I'll show you on a different one since I want to use this one up, is I put it on the top of my hand. And then that way I'm getting some sunscreen on the top of my hands and I don't forget about that part for myself. But anyways, this one, I tend to just wear this one all on its own. So I oftentimes won't even put foundation over it. So let's go ahead and put that on. I have my little mirror here so I can see what I'm doing. I'll probably add some music in to make this part more interesting for you. But rubbing that in, I think it blends really well. I don't get any weird smell from it, so I also care how things smell. And so, and again, putting it on your neck too, because we tend to forget sometimes our neck, even our skincare products, you want to put that on your neck. And upward stroke is also good, like lifting your skin a little bit is a good idea. A little fun tip for you there. Okay, get that hairline. Make sure you're getting the hairline. I think I might forget it. I think a lot of us might forget it, but you don't. A lot of sun damage and skin cancer can end up being right by the hairline too. And I don't know about you, but mine is thinning right there. So I'm doing lots of things to grow my hair back, and it's working, but it's still thinning. Midlife stuff for you there. Okay, here's one part that I kind of forget to do is the tops of my ears. Let me tell you, I'm not always good about that, but adding hats are good. So getting it on the top of your ears. I'll have to remind myself to be better about that. But here you go. This is what this one looks like. And so if I was going to apply a foundation, I would like to put this on and then let it set for a couple minutes and probably do like my eye makeup, that thing, and then put my foundation on top. And the other thing, if I was doing all my serums and then my moisturizer, I tend to do that downstairs in my bathroom. Then I'll come up here at a different area with my vanity to do my makeup. And so the time between that, like doing the different things and putting my serums on and my moisturizer, and then I'll get dressed, all of that. And that gives a few minutes then before I come up and do my makeup and lets that kind of soak in a little bit to do the sunscreen. And then, like I said, let that set a little bit, and then you could do the foundation over. Now, this next one is by Haruharu Wonder. This is a Korean sunscreen, and the Korean sunscreen I think is great. They also have a lot of good skincare products as well. But this one but this one, I believe, is a chemical sunscreen. You may not be aware of the difference between chemical and mineral. I tend to always put the mineral sunscreen on my face because what that one does is it reflects the UV rays off of your skin where the sunscreen hits. And that's how the mineral one works. The chemical one, how that one works, and you want to let that set in your skin a little longer because it does absorb into the skin, the chemical sunscreen. And oftentimes on those labels, you'll see like apply 15 to 20 minutes before going in the sun. So my understanding of the chemical one is the UV rays come, hit the sunscreen, it absorbs the heat from the UV rays, and then it dissipates. So I tend to find that chemical sunscreens on my face tend to irritate my face for the most part. And you'll see in the ones that I use, most of them are all mineral sunscreens for my face. I can put the chemical ones on my body and I don't have that same reaction. It's not as sensitive as like my face and neck are. But this one by the Korean sunscreen by the Haruharu Wonder, I believe again, this is chemical and this one doesn't irritate my skin. So I'm liking this one. Now, this is great also for the men in your life. If you have anyone, especially who has facial hair, my son has facial hair and so does my husband. And so yeah, I was giving some of the tinted one for my husband to use, but then it was like coloring his beard different ways and it, didn't work out as well. So he tends to use this one always for his face, loves it. And so I'd say that's a good one to recommend to your loved ones as well. But this one, it's white and it um, is creamy. And let me see if I can read a few things about it for you. So it says it's with black rice. It is moisture air fit, daily sunscreen, SPF 50, PA plus 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 plus. So that's a rating for how much sun protection. And it says very high protection, non-greasy velvet finish, unscented. Yeah, so it really has a slight scent to it because, again, unscented just means they have an added fragrance, but the ingredients themselves might have a scent. So let's go ahead and apply this one. So again, making sure you get it on your face, especially, where my scar is healing, really important. As if you have any scars, get that sunscreen over that. Putting it on my neck, remembering that your neck is important too. Okay, I told you the tops of the ears. I'm going to get better about that. And making sure I get it on my hairline. I had this other one mole remove. I was so grateful that one wasn't skin cancer. It was very close to my eye and my hairline right here. It was called a blue nevus, and it was like a slight blue shade. And I don't know, that kind of came out of nowhere. And the doctor took it off, but like I said, luckily that one didn't end up being skin cancer. We're so grateful for that. If you are interested in learning about my skin cancer journey and tips and different things I've learned, I have lots of videos on that, like my Mohs surgery, things I've learned about signs for melanoma, and so many more details there. I do have some sun damage on my face too, just because the sun damage tends to show up later, like years later. And so some of the sun things showing up on your face in midlife may not just be recent, maybe from past sun damage that now is appearing on your face. You're like, oh, what is this new like age spot looking thing? But again, anything suspicious, I really do encourage you to get it checked out and go see a dermatologist even yearly. And then if you have anything, they would biopsy it, and early detection is so key with skin cancer. But like I said, I'm having some different things show up and some unevenness. I do use tretinoin on my face in the evening. I don't use it every night, but I use it several nights a week, which helps refresh your skin cells. And can I tell you more about that? I think I'll do a whole separate video on my morning and PM routine. But anyways, okay, how is this feeling? It's a little bit slightly tackier than the other one. I do wear this one sometimes. I tend to gravitate towards ones that are tinted more often. But this is a good solid choice. Doesn't irritate my skin, so that to me is super important. Again, the best sunscreen is the one that you'll actually use. So you want to find one, and you might have a couple of different ones that you use. You're like, well, that one I would like to use for that occasion, or keep this one in my beach bag, ready to go at a moment's notice. I have the next one I want to show you is my favorite one to wear under foundation. So I'm going to show you that next. And let me remove this one, and I'll just moving on to the St. Jane sunscreen next. So when I'm washing my face in the evening, I tend to do a double cleanse. The first cleanse I use, and I think it's great to remove my sunscreen. I'm actually almost out of this one. I have another refill I got recently, but it's the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Cleansing Water. I use the one that's the pink one. And so that one's the one that's good for sensitive skin. So I like to just put it on a cotton pad and then rub that in and get off like that first layer of all my makeup before I do the other cleanse to really get off all the last traces of makeup and oils and all that on my face. But I think that one's really great about removing my sunscreen. Okay, so I have now washed my face again with that, and I added my CeraVe, and so I'm ready now for my sunscreen. This one is by St. Jane. Let's tell you a little bit about this one. It's a luxury sun ritual, pore smoothing SPF 30, broad spectrum, and it says sheer invisible texture melts into your skin, beautifully blurring the look of pores. Desert rose, jasmine, hibiscus, visibly smooth and calm, sensitive and breakout prone complexions. Mineral based and ultra clean. It's your daily elixir for pore perfecting sun protection. It's reef safe, clean, vegan, and mineral. Oh yeah, speaking of reef safe, especially if you're going to go to areas with in like Hawaii, let's say, or different areas that have coral reefs, you do want to get sunscreens that say reef safe because that helps protect our coral reefs, and they're just so beautiful. And though sunscreen is super important to put on you, it's not good for the coral certain kinds of sunscreen. So it will say reef safe if that one is good and protects the reefs at the same time as protecting you. So good idea to think about that there. Okay, now let's go ahead and apply this one. Again, this is my favorite to apply when I'm going to put it under foundation because I think it's definitely smoothes those pores and creates just that perfect layer for the foundation. Now this is just like a very light scent to it, but I don't mind the scent. So again, to get the quantity, I squeeze them out in different, quantities. You can just apply it, kind of let it set a minute and do like a second layer if you feel like you needed to make sure you got all the good amount that you need for your face. Protect your lovely faces. I just think these things, it takes a little bit of time to do, but it just shows some extra good care for yourself, ladies. Take care of yourself. You deserve to be all taken care of. And if not, you're not going to do it. Who's going to do it? You've heard that thing about the oxygen mask and on an airplane, that story. And that story talks about that if there's something happening with the plane, you put on your oxygen mask first so you can breathe, and then you are able to help those around you. And I think as ladies, we oftentimes just think about helping everyone around us and forget about ourselves sometimes. But remind yourself of that oxygen mask story. You need to help yourself so you can have the energy and all of that and take good care of yourself so then you would be able to give to others. So it is not selfish to take care of yourself. Remind that of yourself. I want you all to know that. It's so important. It's not selfish to take a little time to take care of yourself. Okay? And so important that you know that each of you has so much value and it's so worth it to take that time. And I just feel like taking care of my face helps my health because of skin cancer. But I think that little pampering and that care you give yourself just feels good, and it does help replenish you to be able to give back to others too. Okay, so I had that all in. Feels good. I like this one a lot. I think this one I need to check out the expiration. I think I'm going to need to reorder that soon. It might be coming up to expire. Sometimes, okay, because I have more than one different kind of sunscreen, I won't always use them up before they end up expiring. So, again, you don't need to have so many different kinds. Just one good one is really all you perhaps need is the one you're going to use all the time. But I use different ones for different reasons. Again, this one is for I love it for foundation. And so I have the Luminous Silk, the Armani, and what shade do I use these days, ladies? It says 5.1. Oh, 5.1. Interesting. It's like the shades are just run the gamut with all these different foundations. So many shades, which is good because we have so many different skin tones, lovely different skin tones. So find your shade. And then this, I would usually use the makeup brush then to blend this in. Right now, I'm just going to use my fingers, but I could grab my little brush for blending purposes. I don't know if you remember back in the day, like in high school, people always used to try to like get their face to look tanner, so it's like they have this line between their face and their neck. But these days, people really want to get one that matches whatever skin tone they have, and luckily they have so many more shades out there, and so that's good. So many beautiful shades out there of people's skin. I just find that every shade is beautiful. Such beauty in this world we live in. Okay, so if I have my brush, I'd blend it a little bit better. But basically, you can see, I think that just looks good with the foundation over it. And I like, again, that pore smoothing qualities of that particular sunscreen. And then from there, I would do my blush and all that. Oh, and then my other one, if you watch my other video about body sunscreen and some SPF makeup, then you can put the SPF blush over it and lip. And if you want to check out that video, I'll give you some shade ideas of what they come in there. And normally I do my eyebrows after the sunscreen because it's like I might get sunscreen or foundation on my eyebrows, and then I do my different eyebrow product after. A whole short video on eyebrow products if you need some ideas there. But here you go. So the Elta MD, I do still think is a great solid product. Did not irritate my skin. But I find that I'm not using this one as much because it's a little bit darker than my skin shade. And so some different ones come in several shades. Some only come in one shade. So it may or may not work for you, the tint on there. But I would say if this tint on here works for your skin shade, it's a good solid product. I find it safe for sensitive skin. Another one I decided to try that came in a couple different shades is this Flex color one by Colorscience, and I have some makeup from Colorscience, and I have like a SPF concealer that's really great. Anyways, this one's called Sun Forgettable Total Protection Face Shield Flex. It has an SPF 50, all mineral actives, water sweat resistant, and this Face Shield Flex features innovative tone adapting pigments that offer medium buildable color coverage with a natural finish. Formulated with exclusive EnviroScreen technology, this lightweight daily sunscreen provides an all mineral protection from environmental aggressors like UVA, UVB, pollution, blue light, and infrared radiation. So this one, what's interesting about it, and what shade do I have? I have it in the medium, but it comes out, looks white when you first put it on, but then it's supposed to adapt a bit to your skin tone. And then it kind of changes color. But again, it does come in different shades of it. So I have the medium one for mine. I think there was a fair one, but the fair one, even though my skin tends to be on the fairer side, there's even fairer skin than mine. So that one was too fair. This one ended up being, I think, a better shade for me, but it could run a little dark. I know what some people do is they'll mix if they don't get the right shade. They mix two different shades together to get the right shade they need, but then you have to buy two products. I don't want to have to do that, but that's another idea that some people do. Okay, the other thing I'm going to just have a little bit chat with y'all about tanning your skin. Now, I think they do have different drops to tan your skin for your face. I have not tried them, but they have all kinds of different things for your body now. It used to be very orange, but now it's not as orange and they don't smell as bad. But I am going to highly encourage you, if you do want to tan your skin, do the fake tanning. Please, please, please do not use a tanning bed. A lot of people in my melanoma groups went to tanning beds in the past and they regret it. So I just want to highly encourage you not to use a tanning bed because there's so many faux tan products out there these days. So I don't have as much advice on that since I don't do that. I have tried it in the past, but I've decided to what they call love the skin I'm in and just accept whatever skin tone I have and not try to tan it. And that's just a personal choice. And if you like to have more of a tan, that's totally fine too. But just, I would so encourage you to do the faux tan. And they have the spray fake tans too that are really popular. You stand there and they spray you down. So that's another idea. But, anyways, that's just a little thing I would like to share with you because I care about you all. And so let me show you though this one. Okay, so the thing I was going to tell you about that is that if you did the faux tanning, you might want to get a little bit darker of a shade of one to match the rest of your body if you did the fake tanning on your body. So your face would match a bit. Okay, but this one, let's look at that. I think this one's kind of fun. It's kind of a little magical little thing here because it comes out this color, but then you're going to watch what's going to happen when I put it on my face and start to blend it in. See, did you see that? Okay, let's look at the side. See how, and then I blend it and then it gets dark. Okay, who said makeup can't be fun? It could be so fun, and sunscreen can be fun too. If you know me, I just get so excited about things. Just my personality is just to get very excited about things. I just find a lot of joy even in the simple little things. And that just makes life much better, in my opinion. Find the simple joys and find the simple things that you have gratitude for, and just makes your life a little better. Okay, so this it's all over my lips too. Okay, it's fun to have lip product that has sunscreen in it, but this one, I don't know. What do you guys think of the shade? I just feel like I feel like the fair probably a little too light. This one might be a little too dark for me, but I feel like it goes on well. Doesn't have a weird smell. I've worn it before and it didn't irritate my skin, so that's like a big thing, right? No one wants an irritated skin. That's the Colorscience Flex. Oops, I have more. Okay, because that's the only thing about this is like, am I really applying the right quantity? Because it gets so dark on me, I feel like I should apply more to get the full quantity I need. I mean, a lot of this I could put some on my neck too and the tops of my ears. But this one, I think, solid product. Now my skin might be getting a little extra pink from washing it so much. I think I I did this video where I showed you like my 5-minute makeup look, and I had just done all my, you know, facial care, so washing my face, my serums, all of that before that. And then I didn't really let it set for a few minutes because my face is so sensitive. Those products that I choose do not irritate my skin, but sometimes just it can make my skin a little bit like brighter pink for a couple minutes till it tones down after a minute. But I mean, I really avoid any product that like makes my face feel itchy or dry because my skin tends to be dry once that had moisture. And so I'm very am particular with the products that I use. But let's move on then to one that my sister recommended. Now, my sister lives at the beach, so she is so lucky, so happy for her. And I love the beach. And even with my skin cancer, I am not afraid of the beach. I'm so always going to love the beach and getting outside. I'm just going to be so much better about protecting myself. And I have been, and I'll continue to do that. So, this is when she recommended. Now, Supergoop, really popular brand. I tried one that did irritate my face, and it wasn't this particular formula. And I wish I knew, ladies, what that formula was, and I can't recall. And so when she told me about this one, I was like a little hesitant to try it because I remember having an irritation with a different formula of it. But she said she really likes this one. So I gave it a go, and it has not irritated my face so far. Let me tell you about this one. It's the Supergoop Mineral Glow Screen. I think that some of them aren't mineral, and it might have been one of the ones that weren't that wasn't mineral, maybe that irritated me. Anyways, Mineral Glow Screen Soft Radiance Drops SPF 40. This one is in the shade Sunrise. It does come in different shades. It says Broad Spectrum Sunscreen SPF 40 PA+++. So give me a little description. It just says dermatologist tested, non-irritating, and vegan. So let me show you this one. It does give a glow. It's kind of like a glow to your face. And I think having a glow is youthful. Some people like a matte finish, and it's, I think, a preference thing, but I like products that give me a glow. I do like that. So here's what the shade looks like here. And let's put that on. Now this one has a little bit more of a smell. Not unpleasant. Not unpleasant. See how it's glowing? I'm glowing. I'm glowing. One of my friends likes to call me Glow. Gloria. Glow. Do you guys remember that glowworm back in the day? I don't know if you had that toy. Well, this one had extra glowing. I think you could even like, I have not tried it with some foundation under it, but almost like you could add even another little light layer perhaps if it blends well. Like put this on and then put some foundation. The glimmering might shine through a little bit depending on how sheer coverage your foundation is. And then you could maybe even apply a little bit perhaps on top of the foundation to get that little glow. I have other products that give you a little glow or foundation. One is by Elemis, and there's a couple other makeup ones. Maybe I'll do something on that sometime. So some little products that give you a little glow shimmer on top of sunscreen and your foundation and all that. Blending it by my hair. Do you ever sing along when you're doing stuff? Just randomly? I don't know. I'll be like, I'm blending my sunscreen and I am washing the dishes. And I don't have the best voice, but I do like to sing random songs. Okay. Am I glowing? There's that one. Solid choice. I'm trying to try this all on for you in one sitting, and my face is starting to get a little bit irritated. Do you see how it's getting even pinker? Because I have such sensitive skin. I think it's just the constant, like I keep putting products on and wiping them all off. What I'll do, I'm going to do later is by La Roche Posay when I'm all done with this. I'm going to put a La Roche Posay product. And what is it? Something with B5, I think. I can put it in the link for you. Anytime my face feels irritated, that just it's very thick, but it tends to calm my face down. So I like that product. But speaking of La Roche Posay, that's the next sunscreen we're going to try. Now, this one says to shake it. It's kind of fun to shake something. And so this one in particular, I got when I was in Europe. I got various ones to try, but they have this one in the United States. The main difference between getting this somewhere in Europe, for example, France or Italy, is they have different UV filters. So they might have the same brand, but the formula will be slightly different in the European brand. I like the UV filters they have over there. I hope over time our FDA will approve the ones and we'll get the same UV filters here that they use there. What they say about theirs is that it's a little bit more cosmetically elegant, and I do find their sunscreens to be excellent. So I still would recommend the La Roche Posay that they sell here. I use that, like I said, I use that. I think it's called the B5 for irritated skin. I also use their gentle cleanser as a cleanser for my face, and I also have a body moisturizer of theirs I really like. So I think they are a good, solid brand and works well for my sensitive skin. This particular one, I will link something similar that I'll find here in the US, but this one says tested on sensitive skin, fragrance free, water resistant. It's called Ultra Light and it's the SPF 60, this particular one. I think the one I found here was maybe a 40 or a 50. But let's give this one a go. And again, I'll find a similar formula for you. But to pair with this La Roche Posay, I have another product new for 2026 that I have been giving a go. And shout out to Shalene and her channel. I saw this, she talked about this product on there. And this is called Danessa Meyerworks Beauty Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. So it's a serum and it's tinted and I like it. It has some good ingredients for your skin, has not irritated my skin. So you don't have to test out what order to put this in. I've already done it for you. So I did this the other day and I applied first the serum, then the sunscreen in that order and and I saw what I thought of that. Then I did it opposite. I did the sunscreen, then the serum and saw what I thought of that. Here's the order I liked the best that I thought went on the smoothest and looked better at the end after it was set. This is the order. I did the serum first, then the sunscreen. That's the order I preferred. So that's what I'm going to recommend to you. Now, serum on your face, I put on my moisturizer already, again, the CeraVe. And I think that this one, since it has various skincare items to help your face with different ingredients, that's why I decided to also put it closer to my face. And again, it just worked better in this order. So I'm going to do this, but my tip for you there is to do that order. That's the first tip. The second tip is to apply this. And then I would let it set for a couple minutes. So do other things if you need, or putting on other makeup, you can do that. Or you need to go get dressed, whatever you need to get done when you're preparing for your day. But I would let this set a little bit and then place for a couple minutes and then do the sunscreen after that. So that is what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to put this on first. And you see that this does have a tint to it. And I can't remember if it did come in different shades. I kind of feel like it did. It did come in different shades. And this one I have is the 4. It's the one that I ended up picking. I think I got this on Ulta. I buy different skin, different makeup things. I mean, some on Amazon, but I also buy a lot of things like on Ulta and Sephora. So I can try to I'll figure out which one for you and put that, in a link below so you can see this product if you might want to give it a go. That's what it looks like on. So I'm going to let that set for a couple minutes and then I will put on the sunscreen for you. While that's setting, do you want to just add some little bonus items for you? Because we were talking about different ones from Europe. When I was there, I did get really excited about different skincare products there. Loved the brand Caudalie. I have a whole different, some videos on different souvenirs and different things to get in France in particular for yourself and for others. I've also been to Italy and France is where I bought a lot of those different products like the Caudalie, but they do have different places to get some of these products also in Italy, for example. But I was at City Pharma, such a fun place. I would recommend, just as a side note, prepare a list before you go, but they do have lovely people that will help recommend products for you based on your skin type and your skin concerns. I had researched some different sunscreen ahead of time, so La Roche-Posay was one that I wanted to get, but I saw that there's this other brand, and this is actually a brand from Spain. It's called Eisden, and it's called Photo Protector Fusion Water Magic Repair and SPF 50. So if you're heading over that way, I do like this one. I've been using it sometimes. So this is just like a little bonus because it's harder to find these products here. I did find like one website that sells some products from Europe, but I think it's better. You can get them for so much of a better price if you're already going to be there, even, or if you know a friend, for example, who might be going. But the other one, this is another real popular brand in France, and it's called SRV, and this is the Blur Sun Secure, and it is very blurring, and so I think it's a good priming one. And so that's another one to show you. But again, this is just a bonus because these are not as easily available here. But I've had people ask me when they're traveling that I'd recommend if they go overseas. And these are some of the sunscreens that I would say pick up while you're there. My hands real fast, and then I'm going to come back and put on that sunscreen on over top and show you what that looks like. And let's apply this one. It's very runny in consistency, I would say, compared to some of the others. You can see here where it's running down. So that, just be prepared for that. Oh, the other thing, so I will add, like I said, some of these different links. And I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you get anything through one links, it doesn't cost you any money, but I get a little small commission that I can put back into the channel. And another thing I'll be adding soon is the storefront for Amazon, which will have a whole bunch of different kinds of recommendations in there for you. Just if you're interested, I like seeing what other people recommend. So just try to make it easier for you in case you're interested. And I think I'm going to add soon, they have some channels have it like buy me a coffee or something because it does take me a lot of time and effort to make these for you, but I'm so happy to do so, and so grateful for any of you guys watching and anyone that I can help with any kind of helpful tip. And always feel free to put in the comments below what you found was helpful because I love that feedback. And really my intention is just to inspire and educate and help other women out there and kind of give back to other women from what I know and what I've learned and share that with you all. But oh yeah, they have a thing called buy me a coffee. I'm not a big coffee drinker. I know a lot of my friends are. I'm more of like an iced tea girl, but I might add something like that into my, if I figure out how to do that, which I'll try to do, then I'll add that in my descriptions as well. So it's a really dewy finish when you put it over top that serum. For the La Roche-Posay, again, you could just do this without putting the serum if that wasn't, a step you'd like to add, and then it doesn't have any tint to it. So a good solid choice, again, to recommend to men too is the La Roche-Posay because it doesn't have that tint that they may not like in there. I hope you got a lot of great tips today of different things about your facial sunscreen and applying that. And again, I encourage you to do that every day. And please press like if you got a great tip from this and subscribe for more great videos. Doing a whole video series related to 2026. And again, this is the month of skin cancer wellness, particularly melanoma awareness, topic very close to my heart, and want to inspire and educate people about these things. So I did the one on facial sunscreen. I have a whole nother video on more than sunscreen and one related to body sunscreen and some SPF makeup products. Thanks again for your time today, and you all take care. See you on the next video.